Okay, untuk this polybag rubber, you can Google the polybag rubber. Usually, this polybag rubber is strips of PE sheets, usually larger than your cups, and it will collect usually around approximately 3 to 5 days of collection. So dalam kata lain, whenever you tap your rubber tree, you did not need to collect daily your coagulated rubber, but you will left your latex in a polybag after a few days or until the polybag is full enough to be collected. So maksudnya kuranglah tempoh untuk collect autocoagulated latex. So you tunggu dah penuh polybag rubber baru akan collect. The advantage of this method, the tapper taps the tree and collect 3 layers only. The bulk of collection is brought by unskilled labor. So apa yang awak buat setiap hari, awak tap, awak hanya collect 3 layers yang ada dekat tapping groove tu sahaja. Okay, the bulk collection yang dalam polybag tadi akan ada unskilled labor yang akan collect. So mungkin seminggu ataupun seminggu sekali ataupun 2 kali seminggu baru collect you punya autocoagulated rubber. The whole crop except 3 layers is received clean because it is contained in the polyethylene bag. So there is less likely any contaminants in that polybags that you receive. Okay, the coagulations in the factory is eliminated because you did not collect daily, but you collect maybe weekly. Okay, the collection lorry capacity can be fully utilized and collection station is disappear. Why is this so? Because the lorry capacity can be fully utilized on a weekly routine. So katakan seminggu dalam hari Rabu awak akan collect. So hari Rabu tu memang akan penuh lori awak dengan you punya autocoagulated rubber from the polyethylene bags, and because of that the station is disappear because you don't need to collect daily, so you immediately collect on that Wednesday. Hari Rabu tu collect terus hantar kepada factory. Okay, the individual tree performance can be visualized and semi-quantitatively recorded. Okay, why it is important? Okay, sometimes for researcher they would like to know the performance of each of the tree. Pokok ni kadang-kadang ada awak tanam berbeza benih ataupun berbeza usia dia. So performance untuk setiap pokok ini akan produce latex yang berbeza. So by doing this, researcher can collect semi-quantitatively data for their further research. The disadvantage, the cost of PE bag over a period of time is exceeds that of cups, and of course you can use your cups for approximately a few years, but PE you can only use single use PE bag only. So setiap minggu awak kena ganti dengan PE bag yang baru. Itu beza dia. There is an additional cost for labor fixing of new bags. Okay, previously I did mention on Wednesday you collect your autocoagulated rubber in your PE bags. So whenever you collect, there is another involving of cost of labor, which is the fixing of new bag. Awak tanggalkan bag yang lama dengan yang penuh dengan latex, autocoagulated latex tadi, awak kena pasang polyethylene bag yang baru. Okay, the third one is stripping of PE in additional cost. So of course, katakan memang awak tak collect setiap hari awak punya autocoagulated rubber ataupun cup lumps, so awak hanya collect seminggu sekali hari Rabu. So stripping PE is additional cost. Awak kena upah orang untuk strips PE yang melekat dengan awak punya autocoagulated rubber. There may be some oxidation over a long period of time. Okay, previously I did mention about a week punya collection. So basically within a week awak punya polyethylene bag tu akan penuh, but the first day you might probably 1/5 of the polyethylene bag will be filled. So ambil masa 1/5, 2/5, 3/5 sampai awak punya PE bag itu penuh. So there is a tendency yang hari pertama latex yang awak collect tu ataupun yang dalam polyethylene bag tu akan over oxidize. So dia jadi keras, terlalu keras, ataupun dia jadi terlampau gelap. Okay, sebab apa? Seminggu baru awak collect kan. And there is a risk of the theft. Okay, of course. Yang ini akan attract theft. So kalau dulu harga latex agak tinggi, so apa jadi? So orang datang, okay, bukan tuan tanah tapi orang luar datang curi awak punya getah sebab awak hanya collect seminggu sekali. Sebelum sempat seminggu hari Rabu awak collect, patutnya hari Selasa dia dah collect dulu untuk awak dan dia dapat duit. So there is a tendency. So usually these types of polyethylene bag hanya digunakan untuk ladang yang very secured lah, kan, ada pagar, ada guard and so on. The product is darker than original latex grades. Kenapa dia lebih gelap? Sebab dia hanya di-collect selepas seminggu. So oxidation takes place longer, so it become darker. And because of that, the premium grades such as SMR 5L, light color, constant viscosity and concentrated latex cannot be manufactured. Okay, sebab awak hanya tunggu autocoagulated dan awak collect weekly. Okay, so itu antara disadvantage of polyethylene bag. And then the field grade collection. The collection center upon field grade rubber and the quality of largely dependent upon hygiene since coagulation is uncontrolled. All tapping utensils must be cleaned to prevent dirt contamination. I did mention about the field hygiene practices again and again. Of course, you need to practice a good field hygiene so that you eliminate or minimize the contaminations with your latex. Okay, the collection and reception are carried out as soon as possible to reduce the incidence of oxidation by sunlight or excessive drying out. Okay, kalau boleh secepat mungkin kita collect kat plums tadi, kita suruh hantar kepada kilang. Okay, kita tak nak exposure exposure to sunlight, prolonged exposure to sunlight will harden and we produce hardened cup lumps and the color will be darker. Okay, as surface drying out, the rubber hardens, making the removal difficult in the factory. Okay, field grade rubber producer receive field grades from many sources. The cup lump and trellis collection will be about the same quality from day to day, but usually there is only sufficient to process after accumulation for a week or so that this in turn involves storage. So usually awak takkan terus proses cup lump setiap hari. Apa yang berlaku? Awak akan store sampai jumlah cup lump cukup di kilang, dalam storage awak penuh, baru awak akan jalankan proses untuk buat rubber bills. Nanti kita akan tengok chapter-chapter yang akan datang what is process involved on cup lumps cleanings and rubber bill manufacturings. Okay, there are 4 methods of storage. Okay, because of you need to collect of your cup lumps for at least a week or 3 days. Okay, there is several storage technique that we commonly use in industry. The first one is sunlight storage. Second one is smoking, wetting, and finally the total emission. We will go through each of these storage technique or methods, and please highlight this is very important of storage. This is the standard procedure that been used in industry.